course, I haven't ran into this issue, but with the whole like mask thing, you know, like, where are your fucking, like, dude, it's like, why do you care?
It's the same. It's the same. You know, I ain't wearing a mask because I ain't wearing one. What fucking business is up with the
Why do you care so much?
Drives me nuts. Well, it doesn't drive me nuts anymore. I'm very proud. Like, I'm the only person anywhere that we go that's not wearing one. And I hold my grandma's hand and I keep telling her to take it off. She keeps putting it on, just automatically sees everybody else with it. And I feel the stares, but ain't nobody said shit outside of Walmart. I got approached 5 different times, and I lost my shit at one point. I fucking snapped. I was looking at this crazy
well, I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, 5 times.
I was stressed at the time, but James gave me some great advice, and I've had my own back since. Like when I'm in situations, I got a medical condition, and you know, I just blow it off. I don't even have a mask. What I don't need a mask for, put it on, I'll pass out. I can't do that. And
well,
I was nowhere to put the shot since I've started. You know,
I don't know if James has covered this or anything. I'm sure he probably has. But I was talking to someone the other day who actually was involved with government, and he was basically saying how much bullshit and all this is. And they were like, get it in writing. If they attempt to make you leave, make sure before you do, if you do, have them write it down and give you something asking you to leave. That way you actually have legal recourse, because what they're doing is illegal. They cannot make you leave. It's discrimination.
Yeah.
So if they do, get it in writing, and then that way you literally have legal recourse to go. But again, I'm like, I haven't had any issues, honestly. I'm sure I will. I'll run into it. I have no doubt, but just as of yet. Of course, we don't really go a ton of places, but the places we do, the owners, they're like locally owned, even like the big grocery stores, and the owner said, no, do not bother people. Do not, you know, attempt to make them, you know, do anything. Let them shop. They're here to buy stuff, you know, let them do it.
Yeah. I'm about to go into the BMV, and I don't think I'm going to make it through, so you guys will probably all watch me put this thing on here in about 10 minutes.
We're sending you straight, Will. We're rooting for you, buddy.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully some Jedi mind tricks come through.
Yeah, man.
Definitely rooting for you, Will. You got
it. All right. I can't hear you. What? Huh?
I'm deaf and I have asthma, so you're beat.
Your move.
Now,
I've noticed,
funny that
go ahead, my man. Sorry.
Talking about the exact same thing that I was talking about with Awakening Mind in the YouTube chat about, like, I can't remember exactly how it related, but he was bringing up the how psilocybin is what we evolved with, and like quoting some Terrence McKenna research about that's how we evolved into, you know, human beings from primates and stuff. And I'm like, there's no way you can prove any of that. It'd be like arguing with somebody over the dinosaur toys with your kids. Like, you know, getting into the specifics of that shouldn't matter to anybody. Be like, all right, that's cool. That, like, and I wasn't mad with him. I didn't like actually argue with him. I was just like, hey man, you know, none of that can actually be proven to any of our satisfaction. So like, to go around saying that, you know, for certain that's the way that it happened, it's just, I just don't get it. People have been so programmed, I guess. That's really what it is.
I think that, and they get emotionally connected to certain subjects. You see it in guys who are big time into sports, and their team loses. They're emotionally, they feel like they belong to that team. They're on that team. And you get a lot of that. People are emotionally connected to certain subjects, and when you challenge that view, they don't have enough belief in their own view that they freak out. I see it, especially with more stuff like this, but sports, you notice with sports, I grew up playing sports my whole life, and it's like, bro, you're not on the team. It's okay. It'll be fine.
It's exactly what I've thought. How, like, when I was 16, I dodged that bullet, like, because I was into sports before that for a little bit, and then I started thinking about it, and I was like, so wait, all these cities have all these teams, and like towns have all these teams, but none of the players are actually from that area. Like, if it was actually a locally, like, community source thing where the best people from your specific area, like, all showed up and played for the love of the game, great, man. But the way it exists right now, it has nothing to do with that, other than it's just another corporate fiction.
Pay for the team, the stadiums too. They tax the cities, and they actually pay for the stadiums, and the owner owns it. that crazy? I didn't realize that until a couple months ago. That's insane.
Yeah, it's absolute nonsense. And yeah,
Bread
like
and
you said, trying
circus.
to argue with somebody over that. Yeah, it is bread and circus, and like you try and take people's circus, man. Watch them freak out. Watch their Amy go into overdrive.
Or if you want to tell the government that their bread and circus is boring, they'll fight you the same way. You need a national archetypal field of challenge like that, don't you? You need that professional wrestling ring. And that's really what football is. It's that same rink there that you need to have. You have to have that central thing. Plus, it's a barometer. It kind of gives you an idea of where your people are at. Are they satisfied with sports? I bet you they look at ticket sales and consider that as a psychological thermometer, right? For like where people are and how they view certain things like that. And if anything, they've probably lost a lot because of the internet. Football isn't as mainstream as it used to be. And so you have to kind of either inject controversy, which maybe that's what Trump was doing, or you have to find a new sport. You have to find a new bread and circus, whichever one it takes, you know?
Oh, yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm sure there'd be a lot of interesting data looking at like ticket prices versus income of the people that go to watch that stuff, because I'm willing to bet a lot of them spend more than they do on like, a lot more important things than they do on sports.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
look at how
Hey,
much.
can you guys hear me?
Yep. Look at how much like a 20-year-old
Great.
will pay for a festival ticket, you know? It's the same kind of thing. It's you know, this is a powerful thing. People do anything for it.
Guilty as charged on that one.
Yeah, me too.
So guys, I'm going to try something new today. I'm going to use my phone for the camera, and then I'm going to use my computer for the interface. And hopefully that works.
All right, great. You sound good, Nicholas.
Cool. Yeah, I even got some earbuds with a microphone on them. So, you know, trying to be a little bit pro here.
Man, I just switched to mine, and these things are fucking amazing, man. Because I live on 3 stories, and I can't tell you how amazing it is that I can immerse myself in a song and go from any floor, and I'm still fully immersed. Like, it helps me stay focused. You know how sometimes you leave the room and you forget what you were doing? It's like the music allows me to stay in the same room all the time. I can't believe how much I love these earphones. They're so easy. You put them in.
You just sold me on those.
Yeah, they're amazing, man. It's
yeah,
so.
I want to get a headset. I want to get a headset like Mike Wachter has, man. That thing sounds awesome. You know,
yeah,
that
it
sounds
does
like
sound
really
good.
the pro way to go.
Yep. I'm digging in these. That's what's so awesome about this. They're so low profile, you know, that I can be digging under the house. I can, you know, whatever I want. And it's just great. I get in the car, I'm halfway to the hardware store, and I'm like, fuck, I'm still listening to the same podcast or the same whatever. This is so awesome. Like, you just forget that it's right there. It's so great.
That's great, man. I'm going to have to try a pair of those next.
Highly recommend, and I can't believe I'm even doing that. But these are really, really well done.
Are those the pros?
No, I didn't see any advantage for me getting those. But just the whole, as soon as I take it out of the ear, it automatically stops playing, like it knows. So if someone's talking to me, as soon as I pull this out, it automatically pauses so I can say something to somebody. Then I put it back in, it automatically starts playing again.
Okay, everybody. Sorry to mute you there, James. Welcome to Dojo 64. I'm Nicholas Villella. And yeah, if you're new here, under participants, if you click on that, it'll open a menu, and then you'll see a raise hand function on there. It's towards the bottom. So with that, I guess we can go ahead and get started. And I don't see any hands up just yet. Oh, actually, now I do. Linda, go ahead, please.
Am I there?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, good. Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to share a few little postscripts from yesterday. It was so profound and so deeply powerful for me. And I want to share some revelations that came throughout the day regarding all of this. My children, like this, have been a thorn in my side for a long time. I've gotten little pieces along the way, worked on things, freed myself, but they've always been there. And interesting, this morning when I said, oh, my kids have been a thorn in my side, I've actually had a physical pain in my side for quite a while now, and I haven't been able to get to it and figure out what's going on in there. And it just kind of went, wow, well, maybe that's connected. I also realized that letting go fucking gave me power for the first time in my life, because before, letting go of my children was the most fearful thing for me. Oh my God, how do I do that? And what do I do? And all of that. So there was this power then, this electricity, that it felt empowering to let go. And that was a huge shift. I also realized that in giving my children, granting my children, honoring, whatever is the proper word here, their sovereignty, I have also given that to me, my own sovereignty, taken that back for myself. So now I stand in a new place. Who am I? And I realized when I asked that question that I have been in a hole of codependency with my children. I'm worried about what they think about me, how they see me. Oh, I shouldn't say that online because my children are there, or what about that, or what about that? So actually, I guess, would you call it, I've been victimized. I've allowed myself to be victimized by my children, or I don't know if that's the proper way, but realizing this codependence thing where I put my children first instead of me, and that I actually lost myself in that process. And so now I get to come out as a sovereign being, make my own choices, do my own life without fear of repercussions from my children. And that's going to be a process. But anyway, I just wanted to share with you that through the day, things kept being revealed to me about this deeper reality. And maybe now I can finally remove that thorn from my side and move forward. So thank you all so much. It was very powerful yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you very much. I resonate with this so deeply. I've been putting up some borders with my own parents, and because we have the same kind of dynamic happening, and it's like the longest established prana economies are the most difficult to change, and so I take great inspiration from this whole interchange, and it's just powerful beyond description. So
thank you very much.
Thank you very much also, Linda.
Thank you.
James True, go ahead, my friend.
Thanks, Nicholas. I don't think anyone's ever told a parent, hey, this is when you're supposed to let go, Well, like, this is when you're supposed to let go because that codependency was necessary and natural. And then there came a day where you were supposed to let go. But no one's ever told us that. Like, that's not even established. It's just, no, just leave that wound open. It's fine. It's fine. That wasn't what I was going to talk about, though. I have issues with abandonment. I take things really, I just have issues around that. In fact, I have issues around that so much that I abandon people, which is pretty fucked up. And I've been trying to like be all like cool and shit as far as like how to deal with this. But Dagmar and Matt have both quit Dojo, which is fine. That's not even like a dramatic thing to say, but it's just data. And the rule in the dojo is we can't talk about someone in dojo unless they're here. And I feel like that they've cleanly quit now. And I've been holding this in for a while, and it's kind of fucking pissed at him. I'm kind of pissed. I'm pissed because Dagmar, after me explaining that I didn't think Dagmar was being authentic, I think from the moment I presented that to her, in my opinion, she's been extremely inauthentic to me since then. And even though I've put a couple of hours into her as a mod, like having conversations with her and discussing technique and her agreeing to it, she agreed to mod. It wasn't a light thing. She knew when she agreed to mod that she was going out west at some point to get her things. And so when she said that she told me she wouldn't be coming, she couldn't mod because she would be busy with her move and she wasn't sure about internet. And I didn't think that was authentic, but because it happened right after, I just kind of was like, it's cool. She's just, a little bit upset and, can't be honest with you. And then her and Matt quit Dojo on the same day. And when that happened, I was definitely like, well, it could just been a coincidence. But then I'm remembering how many times in Dojo I've been like, would you stop fucking saying there's coincidences, you dumb bitch? Like, just stop. Like, I've yelled at people for that. And I'm, so it's like, I guess what I'm trying to say first is this is a weird situation to be in because I don't want to sound petty. In fact, today's show, someone texted me, he was like, James, are you mad because me and so-and-so met in the Zoom? And I'm just like, no, that's not what I mean. And I know it sounds, I can see how it's confusing, but Dagmar wasn't being honest with me about why she left Dojo and then she just quit. And I think that was abandoning me, especially since that felt abandoning to me. I'm sorry, that's a much better way to say it. It felt like abandonment to me. Additionally, that was on the respite that I was actually pointing out to her, hey, Dagmar, you're not being authentic. And then there's Matt, who I've always had what I thought was a really good relationship. And I emailed Matt asking him if he could give feedback. It's pretty polite, actually. I thanked him for all the energy he's brought to Dojo and then asked if he had any feedback, and he didn't respond. And then someone, I honestly just can't remember who. I'm not trying to hide who the source is. Someone just forwarded me, here's an invite where Matt has inviting other people to a Zoom meeting, like Benjamin Witness or something. Some of you guys got invitations like that, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, that's great. If anything, that's thriving. We have flojos all the time. I love seeing that. And I don't even mind when I say mind, it's not even like it's my authority. I have zero authority. You guys can talk to whoever you want to talk to. So please don't hear that wrong. I'm just trying to explain what it's like to kind of be in my position here. If that makes sense. So I don't even see anything wrong with with Matt or Dagmar's actions. In other words, I don't think that they've like had an infraction. I think that they both decided to cut me off without telling me why. And that triggers me because I have a hole in my field around that and I'm sensitive to it. I'm not even gonna say I have a hole because honestly, who would not feel that way? We've invested sweat with each other. And when we find out that when one of us turns our back, it it's going, it's, you know, I'm just now seeing this. I'm sorry. It's actually completely cool that I would feel hurt by this. It's just part
I'm
of
glad
being,
you see that. I'm glad you see that, dude.
yeah, being
Yeah.
in a tribe. It's just part of it. So forgive me for that. Thank you, Nicholas. I guys, I don't even, please don't, I hope you just hear me as just someone in Dojo. I'm not trying to lecture anybody. I think that when I called Dagmar out, I think her first goal was to try and destroy the dojo. I feel like that's been her goal was, I'm gonna fuck up your child, James. And if you want to call me out, James, why do you think Dojo's your child? I get it. We can talk about that. But that's what I feel from Dagmar. And I feel like she brought Matt in, and I don't like that Matt had invited everyone to Thanksgiving and then uninvited everyone. And that was because there were a few key people he didn't want to come. And for him to now kind of that on top of ignoring me, on top of inviting some of you via email through to another chat, it just triggers me. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it triggers me. And honestly, I've been wondering, is this why I haven't heard from Nate in forever? Is because Nate said he was going out there. And then I had the same feeling about anyone who wasn't here, including Ava, including Benjamin, including Benjamin's sister, including Benjamin's mom. It's like, why now anyone who's not here because I'm triggered, I'm like, okay, I bet you someone's calling me a Luciferian right now. In other words, I'm trying to just reflect to you that this is a pattern that I have a lot. It happened with Benjamin Baldwin. I mean, it's just, it happens. And I'm not even at the point, I feel like I'm going way too on here, but I'm not even at the point where I'm mean to complain about it. I really want to describe this energy as is that I feel like there's this role that this situation puts me in, and it's a role that requires me to have a capacitance for larger energy. And part of that energy includes the ability for someone to see me as someone they want to hide from. And that if I was to stop being victimized by that, I think that I could allow them to call me a Luciferian or whatever word they're going to call me. I don't mean to call that out, Nicholas. It's just that's the one that bothers me. That whatever they're going to call me it wouldn't hurt. That it would feel more like Linda's kids just becoming individuals, like becoming themselves. And that maybe that's why Benjamin left, and then that's why Dagmar responded the way she did, and maybe why Matt. And I think that's all I have to say. I again, it's just something that this is a great opportunity, I think, to learn how to transmute what I'm calling abandonment right now. And I guess if I could like complain one more time, it'd be like, what the fuck, y'all? All I've done is been fucking authentic with you fuckers, and you couldn't just say, hey, James, I don't fucking like you. I don't like the way you talk to Dagmar, or I don't like the way you said this, and so because of that, fuck you. Fuck your dojo, fuck you. Like that would just, I expected that from Matt. I expected from Dagmar, well, James, you know, and I got none of those things from them. And I wish that was more, I hope that's expensive for them. And that probably sounds like real shitty, but I hope that feels expensive for them for a while. Because I think that kind of abandonment is the antithesis of what we're trying to cultivate with Witness here. It's part of why I'm like, you have to stay. You can't just leave the meeting early. It's part of that. You see what I mean? And I realize that I'm triggered more by abandonment. So you're going to watch me freak the fuck out over anything abandonment related, probably. And that's cool, you know, because we each bring our different flavor. Yeah, I just appreciate you guys listening, really. Thanks for listening to that. That's all I got.
Thank you, James. I appreciate you talking about this, you know. I know you don't want to dominate this dojo. I know you want to make this a place where people have the space to perform their own alchemy. And I appreciate that, but you know, I don't see you being a victim. I don't see you dominating this. I just see a man who's authentically processing his feelings about events which have transpired. And you know, this is as dojo as it gets. You know, I've been thinking about this and reflecting about this a lot, you know, and how do we move forward? You know, to me, it seems like we should be able to smell that victimhood. And, you know, like maybe to just do something. I don't know what we're going to do about that. We need to we need to give people the space. Like if people aren't ready to confront their victimhood, then they should just sit on the sidelines and charge themselves up until they're ready to consider their own victimhood, until they're, you know. And I'd like to make a space for that, you know, like Dagmar said, you know, that she kind of thought that women should be treated differently than men, and or that the dojo was failing the women. And it's not that, it's that we were expecting people that were entrenched in victimhood to be not entrenched in victimhood. And so we didn't fail the women. We just failed people that were acting like victims, and they bit off more than they could chew. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody else here or not, you know, but I've been thinking about it, and I'd like to make a space where people can, you know, work up to what they need to work up to, because we're all where we're at. And I don't know, open witness. Does anybody have anything to say about that?
I do, and I apologize. I'm on my work computer and I didn't expect to be on camera, so I'm sorry I'm not on it. But I just want to say that when I first joined and, you know, actually met all of you, and, you know, I still have not said everything or a lot of things that, you know, I'm coming forward with that I want to and be witnessed. But in the meantime, I could just feel, you know, certain little things within, I mean, again, I'm not talking about anyone specifically, but I could just feel it and see it. And I'm really sorry that you feel that way, James, because I know that you're really strong-minded about not, you know, being in charge and being the one and all of that. And I think that all of us respect that. And also what Nicholas just said about like the timeout or just letting them be, I think a lot of that has to do with maybe they're not ready, and, you know, maybe they're just doing their own thing, and I can see where that would hurt. But at the same time, look at all of us. I mean, all of us are here. We're working on things. I know that's not everything at the moment, but still, I'm just still not sure, you know, what the motives may be. I saw a lot of things that were not authentic with some of them, honestly. And I thought it was me. I was sitting there thinking, I don't know, maybe it's me. And we can talk about that when I raise my hand when I'm on camera. But, you know, as far as you are concerned, James, I just want to say that you're so well respected. I'm sorry that this happened, but maybe like the timeout or the, you know, the grace period or whatever they need to walk away from it. And whatever, you know, Nicholas said or suggestions, you know, to have to kind of resolve it as well.
Yeah. Hey, Mel, I just want to, I really appreciate that. And I just want to say that I don't even think that it's really like the best thing to be saying, James, I'm sorry that this happened to you, because I don't think technically, I don't think anything happened to me.
Okay.
Like what I'm getting at, what I'd love to work on, what I'd love to have under my belt is that if anything, this was like the most authentic thing that both of them could do, that all of us are being authentic, including me right now, including you responding this way, because I know you care. I know you do, Mel. Thank you so much. And I don't think that they wronged me. I think that I saw the opportunity to be abandoned in like this beautiful way. and I because when this happened with Benjamin, I was a little bit struggling. What I mean by that is that when Benjamin was like, I'm going to do my own thing, I was processing it, and I was just like, well, that's great. I've always wanted people to, if the fire has more than 19, it's time to start a new fire, is how I've always seen it. That's what decentralized means. And so when I started to feel that way, it really took me a while to fully analyze my feelings, especially with Benjamin. And I was even questioning my sincerity, because I was like, I just hope that Benjamin, when he does do his own thing, that maybe he spent enough time here, because I've got at least a year and a half on a wilderness like environment where this is happening all the time. Like it's just such good lessons here, including this one. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think the worst thing that I could walk out off the mat from with this is that someone wronged me, or that they weren't even being authentic with me, because I think truly they were. And if I had a stronger field, if I was more permeable versus vulnerable, I could provide them a space where they could turn their back and still, I don't know, I'm thinking this out loud, but like where they could turn, it wouldn't, if anything, it would make me go, that's interesting. I'm not trying to say I would be apathetic about it. I'm trying to say that I would find it interesting, that I would look at that and see that they're on their authentic journey, if that makes sense. That I would hold that a little bit longer and go, well, let's see what happens. Let's see what we do, It's weird. And Linda B, did you expect more from friends? This is exactly the struggle, Linda B. Because if we're all friends, if that's the relationship, there's a different energy exchange, versus if I'm supposed to be the person that's authentically we're going to turn our back to him because he's the person that started or is in charge of the dojo. It's a different energy. It is. We can't, I think I've tried to pretend that it is all the same, and it's not. And I think this is part of me growing, just like moderators are growing. I think you're watching maybe me grow in that way too, if it makes sense. But if we're going to have that, I have to have a different relationship with some of you, because I can't get that close to Dagmar or Matt. I don't want to get that close to them. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't want to get that close to someone who's going to be able to do that, and that's part of the job. Like Slava Squatch, I can't talk to fucking Steve right now. He used to have my number. I blocked his number because he started texting me going, hey, I'm going to pay to go see Andy Kaufman talk. Isn't that interesting? Let's have a conversation about how I'm going to go see Andy Kaufman talk. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking talk about that. And I told Steve that. I'm like, all you're doing, I'm sorry, Steve, go ahead.
I didn't pay to do that. That was like a group of my friends from the Passio crew that helped organize that whole thing for them. Like, I volunteered there, man.
Okay, I guess the whole point's shot then. You're right. Since you volunteered and didn't pay, I guess you telling me, hey, I'm going to go see Andy Kaufman. Let's have a conversation about that right now, James. I guess I shouldn't go on and just explain that, because that seems like such a weird.
No, sure.
The point is he doesn't want to hear about that fucking shit. Don't be a dumbass.
Exactly. And you know what? I told him that, Pi. I told him that in a text. I said, Steve, The fact that you're telling me this, all you're doing is showing me how powerful Andy Kaufman's field. Why do you think I want to see this right now?
This is the whole fucking problem. It's like the dojo deserves.
Well, Pi, hold that thought.
You only give me a few words about that, honestly.
Hold that thought a sec, because I'm not even done. I'm not even done, because with Steve, when he did that, I told Steve, and I tried as best I could to correct him. Like, okay, dude, by the way, that was like right when I fucking bashed my foot in with the subfloor. Anyway, it's like I was already going through shit, and here's my friend going, hey, I'm going to go check out Andy Kaufman. Do you want me to have a conversation with him? I'm like, no, I don't feel I can give a shit. In fact, I'd like for you not to bring it up again, is what I said. And you know what he did? He said, oh, a few hours later, he goes, oh, hey, I was talking to Lauren. She said she's not with Andy anymore. And I'm just like, you just want to have diarrhea on my fucking carpet, don't you, Steve? You want to come in and go, hey, where's your good carpet? Because I'd love to shit all over that right now, because that's what it feels like. And I'm only bringing this up, and that's when I finally had to text you saying I'm blocking this number now, because I can't fucking have that shit right now. And that was like 9:30 at night, right before I'm going to bed on Saturday. And I'm striving on making my 2-week mark of no fucking contact. And I'm only bringing this up because I'm trying to say that I would never keep such a vulnerable friendship with someone who fucking does shit like that to me. I'm just saying I wouldn't. I would just be like, no, you're going to have to be, I am more sensitive than that. But I would in a dojo tribe setting. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. I would, if I was sensei in this tribe and it was part of it, and that really, and I've thought about this too, Steve, I'm not even done. Because I've thought so hard about Steve and how valuable that kind of blunt fucking retarded autism is when it comes to people's feelings like that. It's like a beautiful fucking tool. Seriously, it's like a hard mallet. And so if I'm truly a sensei, if I'm truly on the mat, if I'm truly working on this shit, I need to accept that vitriol from him, because I don't think that he is authentically trying to hurt me when he does stuff like that. I think he's just completely fucking clueless. And that's why. And that's part of it. And if I was to hang with him longer, all it would do is help Steve. But those are different roles, right? It's just a different role. That's all. I have to be in the role where he doesn't give a fuck, or whatever it is he's going to say. It's a different kind of relationship is what I'm trying to say. And I welcome this. But it's just new. I guess I'm just reporting. I'm just like reporting. This is just so new. The role's different. Everything's different. The energy's different. Even my victimhood towards it, even the way I'm looking at abandonment. I'd love to transmute abandonment out of these guys. I'd love to not have any one of you be witnessing me like, oh, poor James, or James was wronged, or someone's not being nice to James, because I think that has only done me disservice in the past.
Thanks for sharing, bro. This is good stuff. To respond to Melanie, I agree with you, man. I'm not sorry this happened. This needed to happen. It's good stuff. So,
can I just add one thing real quick, Nick?
Please do, Josh.
From my perspective, it feels like, and it's interesting as you've been talking, James, you're verbalizing it out loud. And I think maybe a lot of it you've just thought about in your head. And as you're talking about it, it sounds like you're realizing a lot of what this is. And to me, it feels like the difference between, I don't think you're really upset that they left, or it doesn't feel that way to me. It feels like you're upset how they left, right? Like you expected more from them, and that they knew better how to be authentic and real, and yet they still didn't act that way, right? And so they hid things from you for whatever their motivational reason is, or maybe they didn't even have a motivation consciously behind it, right? And I think you're just more surprised and smacked in the face and abandoned by how it went down versus the fact that you're like, yeah, I could see why they would leave, but why did they leave that way? Right. So that's kind of what I hear from you, but it is interesting as I listen to you talk. It's like, you know that, right? Like you know that, and it still stings, which is the funny part to me, I guess. I don't mean to be, calling it funny, but in a way, yeah.
I think it's hilarious in the same way. Seriously, I think about this all the time. Like that's why I'm trying to transmute it. I not just trying. I think you're looking at it. I don't know how much I'm going to transmute of it. I'm already happy that I'm not trying to convince you guys that they did something wrong. I think Dagmar responded with the amount of electricity she had. I think Matt had saw an opportunity. I think they were both motivated by different electricities, what I'm trying to say. And I don't think any of it is like, we're going to destroy. I mean, I know it feels that way. I do think that way. I do think that I do. The underground dojo shit is it. Guys, I want you. I can't. Michael, have all the Zoom chats you want. Silver, have all the Zoom chats you want. Sam, Catherine, even. All of you do that. Please don't. This is why it's hard to talk about, because it's like, it's so close to that. I could look at that.
Yeah, I think there's a difference.
I think you can count on us to see the difference, James. I mean, I know it's hard to put into words, but I see it.
I see it.
There's an overlay.
Yeah.
We don't need that. We need a cleaner thing to work, right? I mean,
thanks, Pi. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Pi. That's good shit.
Exactly.
I wanted to ask James something. You're saying you want to transmute the feeling of abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting here listening to this, and as we all notice these people not being there, I've thought about just now why, try to put myself in their shoes. What were they feeling that made them want to leave the dojo? And it occurred to me that there may have been some victimhood being felt by Dagmar and possibly Matt. Maybe Matt's was more unrealized expectations or whatever, but for whatever reason, they felt wronged in some way enough to make them leave the dojo. And instead of you looking at it as they abandoned you, what if they feel like you abandoned them or you let them down? And what's happening here is a miscommunication of intention, right? You're looking at what they did and thinking they abandoned you. But if you think about the way they're looking at you, maybe they think you let them down. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just something to consider as you try to transmute this.
Thank you, Eric. That's I think that you could say for sure that Dagmar felt abandoned by me. I think that's right on.
Could I add something?
Yes, please.
Yes, please, Denise.
Hi. Yeah, they probably reached a limit of how far they could go in the authenticity, potentially. I had a similar issue in Peru when I had my meditation groups, and I had a bit of a tribe going on as well. I had a similar experience of people just suddenly leaving, and my feeling was different. My issue was more of, what do they think about the way I transmitted this or whatever. It was more about my perception of what do they think of me, for example. Mm-hmm. So I had to deal with that, and as you say, transmute that. And yeah, it wasn't easy. I also had to juggle that idea of how much do I allow myself to be friends and step back to allow myself to be a teacher or transmitting whatever I have to transmit so they can absorb it. But I would notice that whoever left took whatever they needed until that point. I knew that they weren't going to go deeper in that inner knowing, and I just had to let go, and because ultimately it's ourselves. We are here just as ourselves, and that's the way we're going to end finally. So it's our work, and then other people do remain. Some people return, some people came back after 2 years, 3 years. I also found out a few of them were doing their own meditation group with my technique, and I was like, how do I deal with this? You know, that was an issue as well. But ultimately, it's us as the individual. You are teaching this technique or way of ourselves bringing forth our biggest potential. So ultimately, your work is your work, and whoever's going to progress alongside you is going to remain. And some people might come back, but yeah, why they left, why they didn't left, maybe they didn't have the electricity to say, hey James, I didn't like this, and whatever. So yeah, which is a shame, because I think that they were a bit close to you, like as a friend. So
yeah, on some level,
yeah.
I'm like the restaurant owner who's all like butthurt because person paid their bill, they came, they ate their food, then they left, and they tipped and they followed, and then I'm like, hey, the fuckers didn't come say goodbye. What the fuck's wrong? Like, so I feel silly even. I'm just saying this helps, Denise, is what I'm trying to say, is that when I
No,
really
it's very
look at it,
annoying. I mean,
yeah,
I
but
put a
when I
lot
look
of
at it from
time and
grounded,
effort in people and chats and WhatsApp groups and texts and chats and walks in the
yeah,
ocean front and hours meditating with them, and suddenly, where are you? Okay, right, whatever, you know. Yeah, good luck with that one.
And can I add one more thing? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that it wasn't only a possibly or a maybe that Dagmar was feeling or was playing victimhood. Like if you go back to the conversation where this all started, literally at the beginning, she said, I'm feeling victimized. Like she said it in a like near crying voice. And I just also noticed that, you know, it's not just that they abandoned James or James abandoned them, but we all kind of abandoned them by not hitting them with the victimhood, you know, sooner, and letting that conversation go on for so long and so deep and be about other things for a majority of a dojo. And with Matt, you know, I was noticing for the last month and a half that he was there, like starting about, I don't know, maybe a week after Flattoberfest maybe, or that he was really just on the attack all the time and no internal stuff, kind of like we saw with Benjamin, which, you know, that's okay for a while. That can be helpful in certain situations, definitely. But when it's over and over and over again and there's no internal work going on there, that's not what this is about. And I don't know. I felt like I had something else, but for now, that's it, man. And James, like, don't feel silly or like you're bringing the wrong stuff, because, like, this is what I appreciate about you just being another one of us in Dojo. Like I said that day when you were at the fire and you didn't really have, you know, a speech to give all of us. You were just a part of the fire, like, and I really think that's one of the best parts of this Dojo and this group, this trip.
Yeah, man. Thanks for that, Jeremy. I agree with that. You know, like if we would have recognized Dagmar's victimhood sooner, it might not have done anything for her, but it probably would have done something for us. And that's what I've been trying to get at, you know, like we, this is definitely a good learning experience, you know, so I'm not sorry it happened. And like, you know, just James, just to give a little correction about what you said a minute ago, you know, you said, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to transmute this. Well, I do, man. I think you're going to transmute the fuck out of it, dude. I think you're like a transmuting badass. So fuck it, you know?
Thank you.
And really, like, yeah, so it's not even just to kiss your ass, right? It's just how it is. And we're all learning here. Like, you know, I've been thinking about something Jason Day said a lot during Dojo 38. He said, I will be as honest with you as I am with myself. And, you know, and that to me, like, that's the thing to remember, right? Like, today is Jason's birthday, and he gave us this beautiful gift, because we can't expect anyone to be more honest with us than they are with themselves.
That's right on, Nicholas. Well said, my friend.
Nicholas, that was amazing. Fuck, that was amazing.
Oh, that was awesome. Oh, I could hug you through the thing.
Hey, James.
Thank you, everybody.
Mike.
Now that's some hindsight, my friend. That's some real hindsight there. See how valuable it is?
Hey, James, I can't help but see some parallels with, you were talking to Linda yesterday about, giving people the sovereignty to do that, but it's going to sting. And obviously, but I don't know. I just couldn't help. Just want to point that parallel out. I don't know if you were feeling that or seeing that.
Yeah, actually, Linda is what cracked this open for me. We spoke after Dojo, and she doesn't know this, but we got the phone. I was just bawling. I called my mom and told her how much I loved her, and it was just this. She set this wheel, and it really allowed me to kind of unwind everything that's happened, all the way back to Dagmar and stuff. So yeah, this is why I love Dojo so much. So spot on.
Yeah, I want to throw in one other thought that's coming to me here, where I think part of the reason that you may feel so abandoned about this, it sort of goes back to the idea of like potlatch, right? Where potlatch being that you give a gift without any reciprocation, or that you don't mind what happens to that gift. And I hate to kind of bring up the monetary thing, but it almost feels like because like you're not charging for Dojo, you've given more of yourself to all of us. And then in a way that feels like it's almost unreciprocated when somebody like a Dagmar and Matt does something like this, right? Because you poured so much prana into it, right? So I don't know if I'm even articulating that really well, but kind of that idea of like potlatch, right? Where I think you'll be more at peace with it if you can think of it like, hey, this is just a gift that I'm giving, and what people
like the restaurant. Yeah, like the restaurant, right? I mean, seriously, it would only take me one time to run out. Hey, you didn't fucking say goodbye. I mean, that's all it would take. After I did that once, I'd be like, wow, I'm like really fucked up here. Like it would just be the perfect correction, seriously.
And I think, James, that and Josh, that was really good observation. And I think I'd probably maybe draw circle around the authenticity part of that, because James, you mentioned it yourself. You've got a lot tied into your authenticity, and I think you probably thought that you had that with both of them, that they were being authentic with you. So it's almost like the disappointment is coming from the fact that they weren't authentic, because leaving without saying that and answering you on why, that's inauthentic. And so it's almost like, you're mad because you didn't see their authenticity level, that maybe they fooled you, something like some imbalance there,
Well, on that same
Can
note,
I
Randy,
add something?
Jason, let me just
Can I
finish real
say
quick.
anything?
Jason Day didn't disappoint me like hardly at all. What I mean is that once Jason started to unwind, I saw that in him from the moment I met. I'm just kind of saying right on, Randy, that I think you've hit on that right. GD, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ben. I know you've had your hand up.
Yeah, GD, thanks for your patience here, man. Do we need to give any more
this conversation? I feel like everyone's going out of their way to make James feel better, and that's great. I'm sure James likes feeling better, but I feel like there's two different issues going on. One is that when people betray you, when people you consider friends betray you, and that's what they did, you're allowed to have a fucking red belt. You're allowed to be fucking angry about it. Like, I've been betrayed by friends in the past that I cut ties with, and then they came back to me and we're friends again. That's different. Just how you said if people came back, you would treat them differently. That trust relationship has been changed. And that change is that betrayal. And you're allowed to be fucking angry about that. That's just the friend side of things, right? But on the second side, this tribe thing, this project, this dojo, that's as if I was building a house and someone is there, they brought their shovel, they're gonna help me build this house, and then they just start kicking the bricks out from under the fucking house. Like, what, you're not supposed to turn to them and go, hey, stop kicking the fucking bricks out of my project. So I get you want to alchemize the abandonment part because you don't want to feel the victim, but I do think part of not feeling the victim is to fucking be angry at first. Like, you gotta be angry at them. Like, it's fucking bullshit. Like, that's how you neutralize some of that victimhood and some of that abandonment, because it helps bring up that border. Like, no, you fucking fucked me over. Now I'm putting up this wall. I'm going to defend myself a little bit. And that helps a little bit with that victimhood. I think that's it. I think I had more, but that's okay.
Well, GD, I just have to say that, first of all, thank you for all that. And I just want to remind you too, just to add to it, is that during the day that I said, Dagmar, I don't think you're being authentic. I think that this isn't about cannabis. This is about you know, whatever. That was when people felt that it got too violent. The word violent was used. And so I just want to point out that even the anger that I was having that day, I felt the dojo going, dude, this is not allowed. We shouldn't be this angry. And for several days, this is why I appreciate what Jeremy said. For several days, it felt like the dojo was like, why are we not catering to victimhood more? Why are we not catering to victimhood more? And it made it even harder, I think, for me to apply that red belt, because I felt that it was over applied the way it happened Friday. And it wasn't just me, because it was a few other people spoke too. And it just kept getting escalated so bad. So I wasn't even really, I only had a brief opportunity to even be red belt with Dagmar, but it just blew up. And I feel like energetically she worked with that. She took that energy and used that as a smokescreen too. So that's why it was amplified for so long. I'm just kind of talking this out. I really appreciate what you're saying here. Absolutely.
I guess I was referring more to the red belt after the fact. After they have left, after they've started undermining things, after they've cut off contact, like.
That's kind of what I'm saying too. I guess what I'm trying to say is that since the aftermath of that, other people have been disappearing. Like from my perspective, other people have been disappearing. There's been people saying, this is violence, I'm scared to be here, things like that. So it became even harder for me to even express a red belt about it, because I'm not trying to make it, I realize I'm just trying to explain, this is what I was feeling through the whole thing that made that even harder for me.
Can I add something, guys?
Yes.
Thank you, Benjamin, or Nicholas. Jeremy, but you made a good point. That electricity that Matt and Benjamin were bringing into the dojo for several weeks was amplifying that feeling of what you're talking about, James. I think that's what when I expressed that feeling of, holy shit, this is getting too much, it's because those guys were coming in here with sticks. And they were just poking. And so it wasn't that I understand it was harder for you to give that red belt, but I also understand the whole vibe of those couple weeks leading up to that it was just getting out of hand. I felt like they were being belligerent and just stirring the pot to the point where, you know, it was hard to handle that, witness of, you know, being able to call someone's authenticity out. Do you know what I'm saying? That's all.
Yeah, I see that now. In fact, you know, I wasn't the only one that said and felt, it feels like the dojo has recovered nicely. And now that I'm hearing you say that, I think really that's what we're talking about, is the recovery was that. There was a removal of the Clockwork Orange stick club, right? That was wandering through town with the giant, you know, cod piece of righteousness kind of thing going on for a while. So
I felt that for sure. I felt like it's funny that we're talking about these three people, because I had noticed, you know, the absence, and I'm like, well, what is it really? And I was like, well, there's some people missing. I go, especially like Benjamin, Matt, and Dagmar, you know. I'm like, I've been thinking about that. Like, what is it about those three? And, you know, I don't even know, but I did partake in that Benjamin had contacted me, and I went and did a thing with him, you know. And I will say that it was a, you know, he had his own goal, and he accomplished his goal, you know, connecting with his mother, and it was really a worthwhile thing. So, and I almost see that as like, you know, his patent, like to me in like the Thunderdome kind of way, it's like the Hulk's been there, and I still see his big fist marks in the dome where he left it, you know, and we can't fill those shoes, but we still see him there. He's still here with us, just like an ancestor might be with us. And then I see Dagmar's like, I see the abyss, you know, deep in the dagger holes that Dagmar left, you know, and she's still here as well. And Matt was like an angry Jinn that's just, you know, I see like, I don't know, whirl marks in the dome where he was. But they're all still here, and it's almost like kind of like a, you know, that power of Benjamin, like he did this mother thing, you know, that's leading right up to you, James, with your own mother. And my own mother too, like that whole thing. I'm just like, and I'm still like, you know, it's like, I wish I would have been like you and been right on the horn with my mom, but instead I'm still struggling with it. I haven't contacted my mom. I don't even want to admit it. It's so fucked up. My brother, I mean, my brother confirmed that there are no visits being done for like 2 months. And he didn't even tell me. I mean, not that it's his job, but you know, I'm just pointing out there's this reverberation of a connection with motherhood that come all the way up with the conversation with Linda and everything, you know. So I think there's still things going on, but I will also say that just like you'd look at a young son and they might let you down, like, you know, Benjamin called me because he was so sensitive that he had thought he had offended me by something that was just ridiculously superficial that had never even entered my mind. In fact, I don't even remember what it was. And I was like, no, I don't hold anything against you at all, you know? And that he could be so sensitive about that and not be sensitive enough to at least not say something, you know, even if it was not authentic, at least make the attempt to formally say something in a longhouse fashion where you might, you know, maybe if you have some disagreement. I mean, isn't that how it would work? What if you were in a longhouse kind of a situation, you have a disagreement? I mean, you might respectfully remove yourself, but you'd still do it respectfully in some way, attempt to. And even if I found that inauthentic, I would still respect the attempt. And so I guess that's where I take a little offense. But then again, I'm just trying to point out that in that unconscious way that we do things in syncretism, that's still happening. So whether we're offended by it or not, I just think that there still was and I still feel their presence, and I don't even know exactly the reasons why they left still, but I just, you know, I like it that we left it as open as we did, and James just doesn't have the luxury of not knowing about the things, you know. Thank you, James, for the ignorance that you allowed us to have by not bringing it up and see how the dojo could work, because I think that's worth something too. I just, you know, thought I'd add that perspective from what I've been thinking.
Thank you for that perspective, Hi. That's valuable. You know, yeah, I've been processing my own feelings about it too, right? Like, look at Oktoberfest, Benjamin said I reminded him of a tree ant, like in the Lord of the Rings, and I figured that's like the coolest thing anybody's ever said about me. But then he said I raped Dagmar by calling her out on her inauthenticity. And I figured that's like the least coolest thing anybody's ever said about me. So he's like an ex-bag like anybody else, right? But the thing is, like, he gave me a silver coin, and every time I think about him, I get charged up, you know? And I don't want to drain him, but if he's being drained while I'm being charged up, that's on him for acting like a bitch. And that's just how it is. because, you know, I'm still a little angry about it too. So.
Hey, Nick, Chris has been trying to say something for about the last 20 minutes. Can she jump in there and say that, please?
Please do. Please do, Chris. Go right ahead.
Thank you, guys. Might take a second to get it out because it's kind of jumbled, but I feel like James and the sensei sort of role that you're playing, that you're offering to hit people with boards, and the friend aspect definitely adds a layer in there that makes it more difficult, but you know me, I just get overly need to calm down. In the dojo, we're all saying, yes, hit me with boards. I want to grow. I want to recognize my victimhood. I want to see this, and I need help. And we're offering to help each other. And so, James, you're like, yeah, I'll hit you with a board. I'll do it. And so one of us comes to you and is like, offers the opportunity to be hit, and you're like, are you sure you want to get hit? And they're like, yes, hit me. Come on, I can take it. Hit me. Are you sure? You're sure? You're not gonna hate me when I hit you with this board? No, I'm still gonna be your friend. I get it. You're doing this to help me. I want hit with the board. Hit me. Just hit me. Hit me. So you hit them. And they immediately fall on the ground and start screaming, he's a wife beater. He's abusive. You mean evil person. You're not at all what you said you were. You're not helping me. You're trying to hurt me. You're raping me. You're whatever, all of those huge, exaggerated, freaking, they asked you for the help and then turned you into the scapegoat. I mean, you gave them what they asked for, and now they said they'd still be your friend. They said that this was what they wanted, and yes, but I feel like it touches on more than just the abandonment. You know, you're abusive. You're a wife beater. You're they were looking for an excuse to dump that blame elsewhere, to dump that someone to be the scapegoat. And in taking on that role, you're sort of accepting that that's going to happen, and recognize that that's going to happen. That doesn't make it not hurt. You're still going to feel that, but it's like deeper than just a student being like, well, I'm not coming back to the dojo, because we are tribe. And so in a being turned into the bad guy for that, you don't get the redemptive part of it, the recognition that what you've given them is a gift. And not that you need the recognition, it's that
I think I do though, Chris. I think you're calling it out perfectly. If I was, imagine Paulie training Rocky in the gym, And Paulie goes, all right, I'm going to hold this catcher's mitt right here, this catcher's thing, and you're going to punch the catcher's mitt, Rocky. Punch the catcher's mitt. Punch it hard, Rocky. Punch it hard. And Rocky's like, are you sure, Paulie? He's like, yeah, punch it, Rocky. And then I got to slap Rocky to make him hit. And he hits it, and I fall down like a soccer player. I'm the one that does that, Randy. I fall down and I'm like, oh, you fucking hit me too hard. I'm really seeing this now. It's fucking beautiful. That my potlatch to them, my potlatch to the dojo is that how badass would it be if I could be consistent through that? If I could watch someone do that and be like, well, yeah, I told you to hit. If you beg me to hit you in the face with this board because I'm so good at serving boards, then shouldn't I be good enough to understand the reaction, the typical reaction that happens when I hand someone a board and they don't like the outcome of it? Am I that fucking surprised? And the fact that you brought up wife beater is the only thing that made me see this, Chris, because only now do I realize that Dagmar was reacting the exact same way my ex-wife was reacting. The same way Benjamin was reacting. I was giving her authenticity and she didn't fucking like it. And the only way it could feel better was to blame me for it. You're awesome, Chris. Thank you.
I see you.
Yeah, I know. No shit. Thank you.
I join you in the victimhood, James. I feel victimized by it too. You know, I loved their fucking energy that they brought. They brought so much fucking energy. And even now, Ava is still here, but her camera is off. It's uncharacteristic. And all I can do is assume, you know, make assumptions as to why that is. And it seems to have happened shortly after the connection was made with Benjamin. But here comes Benjamin. Hoorah! Here comes Matt. You know, hey, you ain't being fucking authentic, motherfucker. Come on, where the hell are you? What are you doing? And, you know, Dagmar brought this beautiful feminine energy, and you called her out on what you thought was really going on. And I witnessed that fucking energy towards you, James. I witnessed it. I watched her light up in your presence. You know, and I feel victimized. I feel like they withdrew their fucking awesome energy because too many boards got thrown around, whatever. There's so many variables to it, but it pisses me off. It fucking pisses me off because they should have had the, you know, if they feel like they don't need dojo anymore, whatever, at least fucking say that. Tell us that. And I think that the absence, them withdrawing the way they did, is evident that they do need this witness. They do need this place. I feel like it. But, you know, hey, I've been wrong before. I could be wrong again. You know, I'm going to be wrong again. But I join you in the victimhood of that, James. And I do feel abandoned by them to an extent, but I understand that it's them. It's them. It is they. It's me. This is all about me. I am here for my benefit, for my purpose. If I feel like it's not going to benefit me anymore, then I don't need to be here anymore. But I would at least, you know, to my own ends, for my own benefit, I would at least bow out fucking gracefully and thank you for everything that, thank every single one of you for your witness, your beautiful fucking authenticity, your authentic witness, because it's made me grow with leaps and fucking bounds. And that's all I got to say about it.
Thank you, James D. I feel you, man. You know, but I think this ties into what I was saying, right? Like we, you know, Matt and Dagmar and Benjamin were as honest with us as they are with themselves. And if we want to choose to feel victimized by that, we can. But I think it's not advisable to do so. You know, it's like Eckhart Tolle says, you know, there's the thing, and then there's how you feel about the thing, and those are separate. You know, he might shit on ego, but he's right about that, right? Does anybody have anything else they want to add to this? This is super important.
Yeah, actually, so the reason I put my hand up is just to add quickly onto this. You know, it's building off a little bit of James's stream when he was talking about dropping something on his foot, you know, and I was like, oh, well, maybe you just needed a space to recoil for a little bit and eat some donuts or whatever. And, you know, then Nicholas, you bring up today that you're like, you know, maybe we need a space for people that's kind of like a softer little area, you know, like here's a couch, you can go sit down for a while until you're ready to get smacked in the face with a board. And it kind of makes me think, it's like, well, you know, this one thing that, you know, James mentioned, been so hot, it's almost left no space to go there for a minute or two, right? And maybe this is an opportunity to learn that it's like, sometimes we maybe do need to recoil. And I'm not saying like, hey, become a victim 24/7, but just acknowledge that like, we aren't the diamond yet, right? That we've talked about before, right? So we're not that hardened and crusted diamond. So there are still soft spots. And so maybe this is an opportunity to realize that it's like, we all probably still need that space every now and then, and we all do it. I'll put my hand up and say I do it too, right? To recoil from time to time. So perhaps this is also an opportunity as we reflect on and think about giving people that opportunity to be like, yeah, I know you're being a victim right now, but you're being so much of a victim that you're telling me you wanted this board, but you really do not want this board right now. And maybe that's an opportunity to say, okay, maybe we should withdraw for a minute, and maybe this isn't the time. That came to me. So
Yeah, man, that's good stuff. That's really good stuff, you know. It's just I mean, yeah, that's what I've been trying to think. There's like some way to say this. There's some tactful, sensible way to say, listen, if you want to clutch your victimhood, that's cool. You know, you're where you're at, but you might want to stay on the sidelines or else you're going to get your fucking ass kicked. Right? Like, there's a way to say that.
I think we're just learning to do it now.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
And I just want to add that I think it's good that we're hunting our victimhood, but I also think it's really important that we nurture it. We need victimhood to shed power. Sometimes we need to shed power. Sometimes we're having too much of it. We're not ready for it. That's the recoil that Josh is talking about. And I'm just saying that part of compassion is understanding the necessity to release pressure. Exactly as much as compassion is understanding how much more you could do, James. If you had more pneumatic PSI, you could do so much more. We're all about that, and I fucking love it. Don't change. But we also need to understand there's a benefit to going, hey, dude, if you let out about 10 PSI, the fact you hurt your foot right now would not hurt nearly as much because you wouldn't be expecting, you know, the full pressure right now. You're going to give it some time. And I think that is part of it's. All of this is so fucking helpful because it's just making you just reevaluate all of it and how we treat each other, it's just really, really thankful, guys. Thank you so much for this. That's all I got. I'm just still thinking, I guess.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't mean to gloat, but you know, like I was right. You're already transmuting the fuck out of this shit. So just keep it right up. Okay. If anybody has anything else on this is super important, but Svyatoslav, you've been very patient, and feel free to take it where you want to go, my friend.
Yeah, I don't really think that much about them, you know. I think they're largely greedy, fake, spoiled you know, lacking energy. So I really, I don't know where anybody's coming from here. And also, I don't really like being painted in their light and having their names mentioned in the same sentence as mine. And I want to directly address James here in terms of like, you really think that I like want to do something to sabotage you? Like, I don't think so, man. Like that's not cool. And yeah, that's the bottom line.
I'm sorry if that got
Well, I'm not sure.
confusing.
I'm not sure he thinks that, man.
Yeah, I just wanted
ahead.
to clarify too. Yeah, I don't think that you were trying to sabotage me, Steve. I don't think that that's what you were trying to do. I just wanted to clarify. Sorry if that was confusing to you.
I mean, I'd like to go into it because, I mean, all I said was he is speaking. Well, I'm going to see him speak, but I mean, maybe I should have said that, you know, it was a larger event with other speakers. I mean, David Icke sent us a video, for crying out loud. So yeah, I guess I could have definitely mentioned that there were definitely other speakers, but I didn't know that Lauren was going to be there until I got to the bar that night, because Leah, you know, one of the organizers, invited me to the bar. So, I mean, she was there. I just asked you, you know, like, if you wanted any pies to throw at, what's his face, Andy, and, you know, I just, you know,
Steve,
and I know you
please
still
stop.
care about Lauren.
Steve, I think I have to kind of cut this off a little bit, if you guys don't mind. Guys, yeah, we just have to. Yeah, I don't think you're getting it, Steve. We all know.
Getting what?
I'm.
Yeah, James used the word clueless, and I think that's apt.
Just don't want to hear about that shit right now, Steve. I mean, your intent's good, man, but like, you know, just where James is at, he just don't want to be hearing that shit right now. He's just fuck that shit.
Well,
Just
I don't understand.
Just don't even think about it. Hey, it's good, man.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
just-
understand that.
Right.
It's the prana economy that he has with them, and you should know that if you've been witnessing
I should
it.
know what?
That's even the sore subject. You basically, dude, you kicked James right in the balls.
Right.
With that shit.
I don't feel that way.
Well,
No shit! No shit, you don't feel that way.
Well, that's so confusing. He's been so clear about how difficult this situation has been. Even when he doesn't bring it up at stream, we find out later in Dojo that they've continued contact and it continues difficult. The rest of us all realize how difficult it is, but for some reason you just don't seem to understand people. Like, it's so hard to see how you can't understand this part.
What about it? What about it?
James already made it clear that he does not desire to connect that circuit.
Right, why not?
He made a sacrifice to not connect that circuit. So could you please
Well said,
help him
Pi.
not connect that circuit, Steve?
Yeah, Steve, when you
That like
describe
a
something,
big deal to ask.
Well said.
It doesn't
They're
even
already
when you
connected.
describe-
The
You're
circuit
not-
when you
We
describe.
weren't connected. You're
personally,
the
you just
only
don't
one that
connect
connected.
it.
You're the only one that connected it, and Lauren fucking knew how you would connect it. And I get that you don't understand, but it doesn't matter that you don't understand. It doesn't fucking matter, dude. That's why I have to block your number, because I cannot be that vulnerable around you. You're gonna do shit like that, and you're not gonna know why, and you're not gonna mean it on purpose. I get it.
Okay.
when you
So
describe things in
what's the
detail, you
problem?
recreate pictures in
What's the
people's heads. So when
problem?
you're describing like your approach to the bar and so on like that, then it creates.
His heart, I feel that. Like, I don't think his intent was bad, but like I said, fuck intent when.
Sorry to do that to you, D.
There's
It's
a
just kind of devolving
synchronicity.
into everybody
There's a
talking at once.
synchronicity.
Just let's talk one time. Let's just talk one person at a time right now, okay?
All right, well,
That's all I'm saying.
listen, if everybody shuts my mouth right here, I'm out. Okay?
Sorry.
I'm fucking out. You got me?
You good, Steve.
You all got me?
What
I'm
is that?
fucking gone!
I mean, come on now.
Stop that!
How are you the fucking victim here, Steve?
I'm not the victim here.
You're playing the fucking victim now when you fucking kicked him in the balls. You took a baseball bat to James's balls. You should fucking know that he didn't want to fucking connect that circuit.
Yeah.
Period.
Well,
You should know that.
Check it. I don't like this shit. All right. I should know that. Go fuck yourself, D. I should know that. Telling me what I should want to fucking know. I don't need to know that shit. I don't need to fucking know that shit.
Leave, Steve. Leave.
I totally like Steve is James.
Fuck you, Randy. Get the fuck out of my face, you bitch. You little fucking old motherfucking bitch. You didn't do shit with his life, fucker. Shut the fuck up, you little fuck.
Take it down, Steve.
No.
Yeah, man, calm the fuck down, man. You might have a fucking thorn area over there.
Steve, you're angry because you don't understand what you did.
I know what I did.
That's okay.
Wait a
You're allowed.
minute. You just got through
I know
saying
what
you
I did.
did.
I don't have to understand it by your point of view, okay? I don't have to understand it by your point of view. Where the fuck are your
gotcha.
tears, bitch? Where the fuck are your tears, huh? You ain't got shit. You're inauthentic about it. Shut the fuck up.
Who are you talking to right now? You or me?
You, James True.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, everybody let's give Steve a rating of authenticity right now versus James. Show of hands.
I
Is
think
James
they're
being
both at a
authentic
10.
right now?
Why is this bad? Why is this bad?
It doesn't need to be versus either.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
get this.
That's true.
You talking to the universe right here. Universe put me there, okay? And the fact that I mentioned his name and you got all butthurt about it, shut the fuck up. No, I'm not taking
That's
that.
not why I
Shut
got
up.
mad. I didn't get mad because you mentioned his name, little bitch. Shut the fuck up. If you want to know what I feel, shut your fucking ass and listen. Use your compassion. Stop acting like a little bitch. I get you don't know this. You don't have social skills in this way. And you're threatened because you're noticing it. People are noticing it. Yes, it's true. And it's okay. It's why you're here.
It's not true.
Yes, it is true, Steve.
No, it
Steve.
isn't fucking true. Then
Steve.
pinpoint it. Then pinpoint it.
Dude, we've been pinpointing
You
this
got
since the
shit.
day we met. Since the day we met. And you think I'm critiquing you right now in a bad way, and I'm not. I'm telling you, the reason why you find yourself confused over why the hell is everyone looking at me like I just said something horrible is because you don't know. That's all.
I know.
And you feel like that's a flaw, and I get it.
I know enough.
You're sensitive about it, and that's why you're
No,
going
I'm
to yell and
not.
scream about
Not
it.
at all.
Yes, you
I know
are.
enough. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know something.
Yeah. Why don't you
I
yell
don't
at the
know
camera
something.
again? Show me that you're
You
coming.
wanted to help them. You wanted to fucking help them.
I did help them. I did.
Yeah,
I did help
Yeah,
them.
and they put you back in your circle, and then you fucking push them away. Yeah.
What are you fucking talking about?
Dude.
I pushed them together.
Yeah, man, he's trying to move on.
Right.
You're the one that
push
goes
them-
up to
you
you're
push
the
them
one that goes
together.
up to Lauren at a bar and starts talking to her so you can text me and tell me about how she's not with Andy anymore. And you don't understand how that might be kind of like fucking obtuse?
Not at all.
And I understand.
Not at
you
all.
don't
It's just
do that.
information about her.
I understand that, Steve. And here's what I'm
What do
trying
you
to say.
understand?
I'm trying to tell you.
All right, tell me that.
Okay. There is a level of fieldings around that, and you didn't see it.
Oh, okay.
You think that that's information, and you could pass it along, and there's everyone should just accept that, and there's nothing that comes to it. And I'm trying to tell you that there's a field around that when you give it to me. You didn't call Daniel Alexander and say, "Hey, I just saw Andy's ex-girlfriend at the bar."
It didn't concern him.
How do you? Wait a minute. I thought it was just information.
And then you're
wait a minute. I thought it was just information.
You're leaking about
now you just admitted that you knew it concerned me, and that's where it starts.
Now
That's
I
where
see
you
this.
pour. Now, okay, so you didn't see it before, but you see it now, and that's good. This is where you pour more compassion into it. You put more plasma into this, and you didn't do it. You didn't do it with Andy, and you didn't do it with Lauren, and that's cool. You don't do these things, and that's okay. It's not the first time. It's not the second time. It's at least the fourth or fifth time. We could talk about Watson. We could talk about all kinds of different things, Steve, and it's okay. Because I don't think that you understand that there's a charge around certain things you say because you don't see it. That's all. And I think you want to learn to see it because you get along better. Well, you want to connect with people. I know you do. I know that. I feel that from you. That's why I never felt any ill intent from you. Not once did I think you were doing that to hurt me.
Then
But
why are you
there's
acting like this?
because it hurt. And
All right.
you not wanting it to hurt doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt. Right?
I never said I didn't want it to hurt.
I'm not putting words in your mouth, Steve. I'm trying to say that you not
You
knowing.
understand that I wanted to do. Come on.
I think that you wanted to give me information. I think that you thought it was fun that Andy Coffin was there and that you could go talk to him and interact with him. And then I think you thought it was even
No,
funner
I
that
didn't
you could
think it was going
interact
to be
with Lauren.
fun because I know what he is. I didn't think it was going to be fun. You kidding me?
Yeah, I know it was fun for you. That's why you put calories into it. I didn't
Right.
say, hey, Steve, can you go to a gathering where Andy Coffin's going to be speaking? I
Dude,
didn't
he
say that.
sucked. He sucked. His speech sucked. What do you?
I bet
what
it
do you-
was better than you think it was.
Right. Yeah, my buddy Nicholas Rocco blew the whole fucking house down. So I know what's going on there. Okay, don't
Okay.
fucking explain to me. All right.
All right.
Yeah, I got the situation. All right.
It's cool,
Relax.
Steve. I'm not going to relax. If you want to tell me more stories about how you met Lauren in a bar and she's done with Andy, I don't want to fucking hear it. And I'm going to make it as expensive as possible.
Then. Tell me beforehand then, all right?
Okay,
Tell me
Steve.
beforehand.
Steve, from now on, if you would like to tell me how Lauren is no longer with Andy or how Andy is no longer with Lauren, I don't want to fucking hear it.
All
Emotionally,
right.
it's difficult
That's
for me
fine.
to hear. And I did tell you this, Steve. This is verbatim what I told you when you told me you were going to go
You didn't
see
tell me
Andy.
shit.
Bullshit. I've got it in text.
No, you didn't.
I've got it.
I got it
in
in
the
text too.
fucking
Let's read it.
text.
Let's read
Right
it. Let's
here,
read the
Steve.
fucking
I
shit.
tell you how
Read it.
expensive it would be. Fuck, I deleted your whole fucking thing because I threw you off my phone because I don't want you having my number
Yeah,
anymore.
because you fucked up. Because you fucked up.
Because I blocked you. And I told you before I was blocking
Yeah.
you, Steve, you can't have my number anymore.
Yeah.
This is not acceptable. That's what I told you. And when you told me about Andy, I said,
Right.
Steve, this is expensive for me. You telling me how powerful Andy's field is. It's so powerful that you're going to go see him speak is not what I need to hear. That's what I texted you. I didn't get mad
Thanks,
then.
Thanks, FY. Hearing Andy's name from you only shows me how powerful his energy is in my life. I am working on reducing his power over my life. You telling me about Andy speaking through you. Yeah, okay.
That's fucking beautiful. It's almost like I told you.
But Lauren,
it's almost like I told you how expensive.
But Lauren
it would be
is
to hear
someone
this.
else. Lauren is a different person.
Can you see how?
Later I said,
those two-
talking to Lauren, she says she and Andy are over.
And then
Okay,
what did I
where's
say?
the problem here?
What did I say then?
And then you say, then go have sex with her. Why the fuck are you telling me this? And I say, LOL, my bad, bro. Like, you totally fucking bitch flipped the fuck out like a little bitch.
Yes, I did. And I will do it again. Like a
Right.
little bitch.
I know. Is it your
Until
fucking
you
goal
don't have my
Is
number.
it your fucking goal today to make me think about her and him? Go fuck yourself, you something shithole. Go fuck yourself. Not my goal. I said,
Forgot
not
about
my
that.
goal.
I'm sorry.
Not
You're
my
right.
goal.
I forgot that I called you those things. I did because I was so
And they
fucking
said,
pissed.
blocking your number now. And I said, and then today I texted, yeah, Blazing Saddles. Listen, man, you're too much of a girl for this, dude. You gotta amp your shit up. All right, that's what I'm telling you.
I appreciate that feedback, man.
I'm telling the whole fucking dojo this. All right.
Yeah, I think they're listening, and I'm glad. I'm glad we're giving you
Welcome.
this.
You're welcome.
I'm listening too.
You're welcome. I didn't think anybody would think I would do this, but I did it because I'm the fucking obvious. I'm the fucking one to do it. So,
what do you think it is you just did?
You're welcome.
What it looks like is a homie of mine, fucking this homie's with another homie of mine, went to one homie's fucking girlfriend in a bar, and then texted him at the bar about how his girl that he's doing streams and shit about, pouring about, is single. And you don't see how, like, if somebody looks at you and trusts you as a friend, and to do right by them and just stand by them, and you know, it's a fucking tribe, how that's fucking kind of shady. You know what I mean? It's a shady thing to fucking get on your phone. Your buddies at the bar.
Are you questioning my honesty here? Are you questioning what I'm saying, bro?
Steve, this is not a fault. There's not a fault here, man. It's too, Steve, you feel too attacked right now, and I get why that feels that way, and I'm sorry.
I love you, Steve. I'm just speaking my heart, man. I'm not going at you. I'm just trying to show you from the perspective that I think a few of us kind of see it. At least me, that's kind of my perspective. And I ain't holding you.
And mine too.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
And just let you know that perspective from how I see it. Because you see it, you don't have to see it the way I see it. I'm just trying to stress to you the way that I see it, man. That's all. And I love you, man. I ain't going at you. Shit, you're still my friend. You're still my tribe. That's all. That's all. I'm just trying to
Thanks for that, D. I feel the same way. I feel the same way, Steve. We love you, man. But that's the thing. Like, James has been very open about this whole triangle with Andy and Lauren. You know, he was very open about the fact that he cut it off once, and then Lauren contacted him through another screen name, and he started contacting her again, and then he put that boundary up again. And he was saying it was really hard. I don't know if you remember this, Steve, but he was saying it was really hard, and he was counting the fucking days. He was waking up and he was saying today is day 12 or whatever.
I'm not gonna zip my mouth over synchronicity like that. All right, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not that dude. I'm not that dude.
I think you're gonna calm down and you're gonna see what we're saying to you.
He happens to be at the event that my people organize, and then she happens to be at the bar where the organizer invites me to, and then I'm gonna shut the fuck up, Steve. Fuck you. Fuck you.
This is so fucking. You look like a little girl throwing a tantrum, you little bitch. You're like a 5-year-old girl that got mad because your Barbie horse has the wrong color hair. Man, if you really want to tell everyone how tough they need to be, you need to act like a fucking adult, man. We're having a conversation here.
Yeah,
no, I'm not kidding you.
Yeah, all right.
Look at you,
man.
Calm the fuck down,
That's the fucking universe. Talk to the fucking universe, bro.
There's no such thing as a universe. Stop being all bitchy about
so
it,
much
man.
Thing as a fucking. Shut up, dude.
Yeah, really.
Shut up, dude.
Steve,
you're talking to God, dude. Shut the fuck up.
When
you're talking to a synchronicity, you're talking to God, dude. Shut the fuck up, dude.
You going to drink with Andy's ex-girlfriend or girlfriend or whatever the fuck you want to describe her as is not synchronicity.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't.
Because I had no idea it was gonna happen.
Dude, you said the day before, I'm gonna go hear Andy Kaufman talk. Should I say something to him? You asked me if I should say something to him. And you're gonna call that a synchronicity? That you were out with your eyes closed, wandered around, and boom, you opened up, and there's Lauren having a drink telling you, oh, I'm single now. I wish you'd tell James.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could block that out. That's fine.
Block
You're
what
gonna
out?
deal with that later, though. You know that. You're just going to deal
Hey,
with that later.
guys, it's now noon. It's 11:59. So, you know, if we need to keep talking about this, I'm game for that. But I kind of feel like this has gone as far as it's going to go, you know. This is what I'm talking about, recognizing this, you know, like, Steve, I hope you think about this and calm down, and we can talk about this more if we need to. But you said it yourself, man. It was just information. Information isn't that important. We're more talking about feelings in here. We're talking about electricity and authenticity. Fuck information, you know?
And I wasn't being
Fuck
authentic.
it right in the ear.
I wasn't being authentic, yeah. You're gonna shut the dojo down?
Well, I think you were.
Yeah, okay.
I'll stay.
Stay, Steve, if you need. I'll stay, Steve, if you need it. I'll stay. I don't have a fault. I don't think you did anything wrong, Steve. I think there's an opportunity for you could see a field around words that come out of your mouth. That's all. Just like me. That's all, man.
So let's sign out. Let's say goodbye and let's sign back in. What do you say, everybody? Great dojo.
Yeah, thanks a
Good
lot,
Dojo.
guys.
See you guys back in a minute.
Really
Okay.
appreciate the witness here.
I love you guys. I'll see you in a minute.
Okay.
Great dojo.